So what are some of the top cards that the new Dark Fairy Searcher can actually interact with? Now make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on Condemned Witch. Now this is actually really cool. Now remember the new spell searcher for Dark Fairies, you have to send a power patron from the deck or the extra deck to the graveyard, which is fine because there are a lot of different tools that we can actually access with this. So Condemned Witch was the first one that comes to mind because she has the ability to add a forbidden quick play spell, a trap card from your deck to your hand, which can search for the crown. And then you can actually, during the opponent's turn, during the main phase, you can tribute this to bring out Aurora Paragon and actually create the little soft lock on your opponent, and then your opponent's just going to stare at you and go, this is actually freaking ridiculous. Like, why are we doing this? Honestly, this is probably going to be one of the best starters that you can actually kind of have if you were wanting to play, you know, some of the different options that, you know, this deck's supposed to have. And then, of course, there's going to be Majesty Hyperion. And, of course, you can also search for the Venus that's also a Dark Fairy as well. But in the current era, Agents are not necessarily a terrible deck to want to interact with. Actually, I think most of the agent variants that I have seen over the years do kind of leave a little bit to be desired in terms of, you know, how the deck wants to kind of play some of its end board pieces and things like that. But it's definitely, it's not a bad concept to work with here because, you know, as long as you don't die to Nibiru, you should be able to go down a lot of the cool little crazy lines that it feels like agents are supposed to do. And like I said, I've seen some really cool runic variants floating throughout the years. I think that having some support for this is actually not a bad thing. Now, some of the Despian stuff becomes targets. Tragedy, Ad Lidium, I think the other big guy, I forgot his name. But all of these turn into additional searches for you to be able to get, and turning Tragedy into a further search. The only problem that you are going to have if you are wanting to play this in Aluber and Friends, you're gonna lose an extra deck slot, and I don't think that's necessarily worth it. You need the deck to be as consistent and as streamlined as you can actually feel like you're going to make it. So having Despian Tragedy and the rest of those, they are targets that you consider. I just do not think that they are things that are worth considering looking at the pool for the deck. It's a cool idea, though. I'm going to say that. Now, this one's very, very, very awesome. The Nouvelles Pulsionaire, which is a target that we can add, which ends up being the entire Nouvelles deck, basically. Pulsionaire ends up being pretty much what you want for the deck, because she's on normal or special. You get to add a level 1 ritual or a recipe card from the deck to the hand, or you can banish any number of recipes to special summon a Nouvelles ritual monster from the hand with level equal to banished. I'm not saying the Nouvelles is a good deck, all right? This is the bad idea allows me to bridge into other bad ideas, which means we're getting consistency, and I do think Nouvelles has extra deck slots. I don't see a reason that we wouldn't want to build some power patrons into this as an actual little toolbox just to kind of experiment around with things. So I'm kind of digging this. And then we have Purrely Lily. Ah, yes. Who didn't want Purrely to have access to probably one of their best starters that they can have, all at sacrificing an extra deck slot? Now, Purrely, I think, can afford the slot to have 3 additional copies. The only difference with this, I guess I should bring this up now, hitting this deck with a Droll and Lockbird kind of feels like a death sentence. And I understand, you know, you're trying to make the deck slightly more consistent where we can actually get it. So having, you know, Lily actually coming up to bat here for this new search card does seem good. Once again, I'm sure the Purrely duelists are going to be happy. I mean, it's not like the cat needs to attack turn 1. Like, there's no real downside to playing this in the deck to get the key search. It's fine. Now, to all the Weather Painter players, the Weather Painter Aurora is now searchable, and that's actually good because she is basically the on normal summon. She gets to place a Weather Painter spell and trap card from the hand deck or graveyard face up in the spell and trap card zone. We all have that one friend who absolutely loves Weather Painter. You know, they swear the deck is going to get some support. This is the first time in, I think, years that we are seeing Weather Painters actually getting some support. Now, this basically gives you 3 additional copies of getting into Aurora. Now, my problem is I don't think Aurora was a card you were maximizing on in the deck anyway, because, like, you need the deck to be consistent. And it doesn't really feel like, you know, it's super consistent if you're bulking down too much with some of these little extra bricks. So while you do get the Searcher, I'm a little bit worried about that. Vanadis, the Nordic Ascendant, is now searchable with this. Now, whoever thinks they're going to be playing Nordics in 2026, a very, very strong word of advice. Been there, tried playing Nordics back in 2024. It was fun. The regional build that came through was one of the most exciting and fun things that we've had. I do not think getting Vanadis to be searchable is anywhere near enough to make this into a better deck. I do repeat, though, if you are a casual duelist and you are looking for some tabletop experience to make your Nordic deck more consistent, then by all means, this Searcher is going to be making your life a lot easier, and I actually kind of appreciate this. So Vanadis, it's not the greatest win in the world, but for the casual duelist, this is great. We also have Dark Honest. So I always wanted the ability to search for Dark Honest, because this is the thing that powers down the opponent's monster, which is really, really bad. The problem is Honest and Dark Honest. Like, Dark Honest should have been a card that should have been designed 100 years ago. And unfortunately, you know, having an actual, like, counterplay trap card like that you can use just doesn't necessarily work out. It is cool that he is searchable, and maybe in some sort of draft format there could be an interaction to actually get Dark Honest searched, actually get the piece set up, and actually, you know, try to have that inboard succession that you're going to want. It's cool, but there is no real application to the success of actually making this idea become a reality. And then we have Darklords. This was the thing that made me excited. Every single Dark Fairy Darklord is now searchable. We can now play Darklords without feeling bad about things. Oh, I need to go toss an extra deck card out to be able to capitalize on things. Yeah, sure, man. Easy. All right. Not a problem whatsoever. My only real concerns outside of that are, you know, Darklord's already not a super consistent pile. And you're already playing like giga bricks in order to try to make the deck more consistent. But Searcher equals good, equals tier 4 deck moving up to like tier 3.5, and that's good. Once again, the casual side of things is really, really, really winning here. And I think the biggest winner of all is Nurse Reficule. We have another Searcher for Nurse Reficule. My terrible table 500 Nurse Burn strategy is now playable to the greatest extent that it has ever been. Triple Upstart Goblin, triple of all of this. You can finally have Nurse Reficule being a consistent piece of the deck. I never thought I would see the day. This is great, man. I'm so excited for this. So what do you guys think about some of the best targets you can play for the new Dark Fairy Searcher? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Peace. Patrons. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.